Heyo everybody, Haku here with my One Piece manga chapter 869 review. The chapter title was Under Siege this time, and it's I always like to say whenever I really liked something, I'm like, oh, it's the best chapter, episode, whatever, insert thing here in a long time. But there have also been a lot of other good chapters. So I'm really fighting the urge to say, oh man, it was the best chapter in such a long time. But then I remember, oh, there were a lot of the assassination planning chapters that were quite good, and a lot of the Luffy Sanji chapters. Many were drawn out, but some were quite good. So I'm like, okay, maybe they have had good chapters recently. Maybe it's not a very truthful statement to say that it is the best or better than so many, but it was really, really good. Especially the art quality. The art quality was really, really good this week. Like, a good bit better than usual, I'd even say. Looked like a lot of work went into this one, like a whole lot of work. But either way, let's discuss it part by part really quick with the quick rundown and thoughts on that before getting into general thoughts. So the cover story has moved on to the Barto Club now from the beautiful pirates that it was at before. I tried to look at this cover a few times and see if I noticed anything important, like about the island or the people on the island, what they were wearing or anything, or if there was anything different with the ship. Nothing important comes to mind. I didn't see anything or notice anything important. Just looked like they were showing up at some island. Maybe it'll carry on to a story with them on that island. Getting into the chapter proper, I did like the first panel a lot. I like that angle that they used for the Big Father Castle Mode Capone. Defeld then finds the Mochi earplugs, puts them in, finds the Tamate Bako. I'm glad that they added in, Oda just had that one panel with Luffy starry-eyed at Capone transforming into a big castle. I'm glad because that's sort of the running gag and it really fits with the character, so I'm glad they threw that in there. Katakuri then grabs Brûlé from off of Caesar's back. Katakuri starts shooting some of the fire tank pirates, just some of the cannon fodder, some of the jelly bean fodder as it were. Smoothie then grabs Nami, the genie summoned by Daifuku grabs Carrot, and Oven grabs Chopper. Sanji is still staring down his family. Then we have the raid suit transformation sequence, which I thought was really good. And I just, it better be badass in the anime. It's all set up to be a really, both funny and really cool scene for the anime. Then Ichiji punches Perospero, and I thought that was really cool, because it looked like he jumped super quickly, and then he punched him, but it looked like his arm was moving so fast it showed up as multiple arms. So I'm wondering, because this got me wondering really what are the powers of each of the Vinsmokes. And that makes me wonder, is that part of his power is like the very quick multiple strikes? We've already seen that it seems that Niji uses the, I guess, kind of electric version of the Diablo Jumbo, like what Judge does. So he, which one did he take out? Hold on, I have it all written down here. Niji saves Chopper from Oven, I believe, yes. So Niji saved Chopper by doing a shot kick to Oven. Reiju then saves Nami by doing a poison kick to Smoothie, and Yonji saves Carrot by doing something and taking down Daifuku. Now here's the thing though. It looked like, when I was looking at it trying to see, maybe it's some hint to what their abilities are, because we know Reiju has some sort of poison, possibly butterfly devil fruit. And if she does have some sort of devil fruit like that, then it stands to reason that possibly the other three have devil fruits. Yonji, though, he had these weird, like, puffs of smoke in the air around him. I don't know if that was just from, like, the suit and maybe his ability, because it is windscreen, which makes me think of gadgets. Maybe he just uses the futuristic technology gadgets as his power. That's always a possibility, and that's even what, if I had to take a guess, I'd maybe guess. So, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with his powers. Then we have a Sanji and Nami reunion. There's a pudding panel there that it looks like she might be jealous, but we can't really tell. We can barely see the face. But that pudding panel there is quite important. It's either a signal that she is making that good guy flip, which I kind of hope she isn't, or that she's like, oh, look at these bitches. I am going to bring my vindication down upon them. So I think Pudding works better as a bad guy just because her power is so interesting and it works so well as a bad guy. Now then, as good as her power works as a bad guy and as cool as it would be, her power, if she flips to the good guy side, would be the easiest out for it'd just be the easiest out for this arc, because they're all trapped under siege in that castle. She changes everybody's memories to think the Straw Hats are good guys. Bam. And then they all become friends. That's how OP her power could potentially be. Could she actually use it that way? What are the limits? We don't know. But I mean, just judging on the vague thing, not taking into account any drawbacks, that she can change memories and stuff, it seems like she'd be able to do that, and she would be an easy out for the arc if she did flip to the good guy side. So again, I guess that's another reason I'm hoping she doesn't make the character flip. Then the Tamate Bako actually falls from the chateau. Capone in the castle face panel is really awesome, where it's the panel where it's like two panels beside each other. One is half of Capone's actual face and the other half is the Big Father face. You know what I'm talking about. I'll probably even use it for the thumbnail now that I think about it, because it is a good panel. Then Perospero protects Big Mom by erecting a candy wall. The cannons are then stuffed with mochi, so Capone can no longer fire. The Big Father is bound down by Perospero's candy, and now we are left under siege with Big Mom's children waiting outside of the castle. And I like, when we saw them waiting outside of the castle, how Smoothie was like wringing the poison out of her arm. That's a really cool usage of her power and stuff. So I think it was cool just to throw that in there, that she could get poisoned so that she could wring it out to show us that she could. Just little things like that really add to stuff. Then we see all of the good guys, the Straw Hats, Vinsmokes, Fire Tanks, all hiding inside the castle. And we find out that the castle isn't impregnable. They need to figure out something quick, because the body is Capone's. If Capone gets hurt, presumably the castle gets hurt. If the castle gets hurt, presumably, or actually visibly, Capone gets hurt. So Big Mom wakes back up, tears out a part of the castle's face, and that chunk of Capone's face starts bleeding. So I'm wondering if he's going to have a scar, if she like legit ripped a chunk of his face. Because it seems as though he takes damage based on what the castle takes. Which makes sense, since this is his devil fruit. And what a cool power it is that he projects this castle version of himself, sort of, that he's connected to. It's such a cool power. And the fact that even in his normal form, he can take people inside of him and the inside's like a castle. It is such a cool ability. I really like what Oda's done with it. And what he's done with Capone in general. I didn't think I'd like Capone as much as I do now, but I really like Capone now. So yeah, I thought it was a really good chapter. I loved the art of it. I loved the pacing. We got to see a lot happen. I loved how it started sort of with the little mini arc. The story of the chapter had a few like bounding arcs. Like it arced into the 3 Straw Hats getting captured, then bounded into the Vinsmoke transformation, into them getting saved, into them going into the castle to be under siege, and then the little siege stuff at the end. I thought it was really good. So yeah, anything else? I liked how both sides came out of this looking. Both sides came out looking really strong, with the Vinsmokes transforming and getting those shots off and getting a just a leg up, at least for a moment, on some of the Big Mom pirates. It shows that, okay, the good guys still have firepower, the bad guys still have a lot of firepower, and it's going to be amazing to see them fight each other. If that's how it happens. And I think that maybe it's how it's going to happen. How are they going to fight each other, given that Cracker was stronger than Luffy? And yeah, he was. Without Nami, Luffy wouldn't have won that. I give Nami credit for that win. So yeah, if Cracker was stronger than Luffy, and what was his name? It was Daifuku that was beating up on Sanji pretty badly. If Daifuku's stronger than Sanji, and Cracker was stronger than Luffy, then all of these guys they have, the Straw Hats are at an extreme disadvantage, and I actually like that feeling, especially if they do start getting into some fights with them and have to fight their way out of this, because that brings back, I miss a lot of the old feeling, wherein, say, the Arlong Park arc, Arlong Park arc, or I guess Alabasta works as well, though it's not as much of an example. Enia's Lobby is a great example of this, where the Straw Hats are sort of matching up 1v1 against different enemies on the enemy crew, and it feels like there's a big disadvantage, and then each of the Straw Hats does what they can, powers through, wins their fight, and moves on. That's how most arcs in early One Piece went, and it was great. It was amazing. But we haven't seen many arcs go like that. They've been more story driven, and the fights haven't been as structured in the second half, or even, I guess, in most of everything since Marineford even. So Marineford wasn't really structured that sort of way. But I think if we had at least an arc that ended up breaking down into fights that were structured like that, I think it'd be pretty cool. This may not be that arc, but I think it'd be cool if it were. So yeah, just wanted to give that a bit of discussion, the chapter, and where I think things could go. As a score, I'll give it 9 raid suits out of 10. 9 out of 10. I thought this was a good chapter. Like, so good that we're on break next week, sure, but I'm really not even upset that we're on break next week, because I'm happy with this, and I can wait a week. I mean, there's tons of other stuff that I'm watching and reading to review, and so much stuff that I have to review and make videos on and all that really, I can take a week off. And Oda needs a week off every once in a while, of course. So yeah, I'm totally happy with this one. Like if you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Comment down there, tell me, wait, I just said that, didn't I? Wow. Subscribe for more One Piece, both anime and manga. Next manga live reaction and review will be up when the next one's out, 2 weeks from now, I guess. Anime review will be up as normal on Sunday, probably, is usually when they go up. Then, yeah, and of course, if there are any comments to talk about in the Hot Q&A, we'll talk about them in the Hot Q&A. That usually happens. So yeah, that would be it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and follow on Twitter if you want. I'll throw that one out there as well, and join in on the Discord if you want as well. Just ask for a link if you need a link, or want a link. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see you all next time.